Well, good morning, guys, and welcome back to Whining and Racing. I have been playing around with this exhaust. I needed to bolt it on here and see how this fits the main exhaust components before I get to work on these J tubes. As you can see, they're way too long, but I've come up with a couple other problems. Like this tube here is actually resting up against the valve cover there. This side is angled up towards it, so I suspect somebody they must have had a few beers or something before they did their cut and welding there. This looks like a big bird flew over and left them a present. So I want to neaten that up. The problem I have is, like, I like to do things, you know, I like to try to reach perfection. You can see these tubings are off, but this is just the temporary exhaust. So it's like, how much work do I really want to put in? And I really just want to get this motor into the car and let Bobby work on the fuel and ignition system to get that all going for the fuel injection setup. So I'm not going to put a whole heck of a lot of work into this exhaust, but I do got to make it right here. Look at this. So basically, if I cut this, just even a V out of that, and give it a little bit of a twist, re-weld the top, I think I can correct that problem. This one then will be away from the valve cover. This one here, resting on that valve cover, but the glass pack is going out straight, so that might be cutting a little V on the bottom here and bringing that down. And of course it all has to fit with the how the J pipes are coming out, because we stick that on in there, you can see that's not going to make it to the head. So basically this all has to be moved over. So I am going to have to play around with these tubes a bit, and this one here, that won't even, look at that, that won't even go in there. That's just right up against that, so that definitely has to come down. I'm gonna do some playing around, guys, and you know, I'll fix this. I'll come up with something, and then bring you on back when things are a little bit more exciting than me just see, look at that. That's not even aiming towards the head. That's not aiming towards the head. I'm gonna have to do some cutting and welding, guys. I'll bring you back when I figure this out, because, you know, it'll be real boring for you guys to watch me figure out what the hell to do with this. Anyways, guys, we'll get it together, I promise, and we'll get this motor into Rally Bug today. So I'll bring you back in a little bit. We'll see you. All right, guys, this side here was a piece of cake. Basically, I just cut a groove and pounded it on over. Get that so it's there, and it comes out. It's missing that there, and it's coming out straight. So this one's good. Now, what I figured out I'm gonna have to do with these J tubes is actually undo them on the flange there. They're welded on the inside there. Undo that and rotate them and shorten them. So there's going to be a little bit more work on those J tubes, J pipes. As you can see, this one, I got that bolted in tight, and look at where it ends up over here. So after I get this one away from the valve cover there, you can see how I'm gonna have to undo that and rotate it, shorten it, so it fits with the pipe there. So yeah, this side here, It's coming out nice and level. I like that, but somehow this one is all screwed up, so I'm gonna have to do the same thing there. Make a cut there, bend that down a little bit, and I don't want that resting and vibrating on the darn valve covers there. So yeah, we'll get it done, and I'm going to cut these spark arresters off there. I'll use them for some other project. They're actually pretty good spark arresters, but I don't want them on this. So anyways, guys, back to work. All right, guys, well, I've reached one of those moments because I shortened the J-pipe, so that fits in there. Everything's real pretty there, except for here. We are, I mean, that's about 1 inch. I need to bring that flange up about 1 inch. So, what does that mean? It means I should have made my own J-pipes with my 6-inch radius dies there. I thought, what I'm gonna have to do, I'm gonna have to cut that right there and throw 1 inch in there. Yeah, I mean, it's starting to look good, but this is purely a custom exhaust today. All right, I'll get on it. All right, guys, well, it took a little work, and the J-pipe I was trying to fit on that side worked better on this side. So apparently the angle here is, well, I don't know. But anyway, that was the one that I cut. I did have to extend the bend a little bit there, and I cut the bottom of that to bring this pipe down. Remember, it was resting on the valve cover there. But yeah, that's looking sweet now. Needs a paint job, and we don't have any muffler paint, so I'm just leaving it like that for now. But this side's all done, and it looks really good. So nothing hitting the motor, everything's good. This side, I got that all good here. It's not hitting the push rod tubes, it's not hitting the valve cover on this side. So I just got to cut and fit the last J-pipe, and this exhaust will go on. Yeah, that is looking pretty cool. Other than I don't know what is with this. See that? I mean, what in the world? It has to do with where the collector is. That collector, these pieces of the tube, for some reason, are longer than this side. See, this is right at the end of the bend, and this here, but I'm not messing with it. Like I said, this is just a temporary exhaust until we got the turbo put on there, and then that's going to be a whole different ball of wax there. But yeah, I'm liking that. It's looking good. All right, next J-tube, time to cut. Well, guys, the exhaust is done. Check it out. Like I said, I had to do that little bit of cutting and welding there. Had to extend these curves a little bit. But yeah, it's on. This motor is ready to go in, except I got to quickly torque down the pressure plate. And yeah, then we're going to put this on in. See what it looks like in old Rally Bug. We opened that way up, didn't we, by taking all this out of here. All right, let's get that done real quick. I'm going to torque that, and we're going to stab that motor in there. Get a nut on that so it's not hanging on the shaft there. pick her up. Let's see. Is that as high as it's going? Okay, at least you can let loose now. It's almost in there. Over. Okay. And now we're just waiting on we're finding bolts right now to get it mounted in there. But well, I had the bolts. Other than that, it's in there. Yeah. All right, guys. Well, guys, that's it for the day. The motor is in. And one thing that I discovered with putting this motor in, because the space is so critical, that when I originally built Rallybug, there was no pan. It was just basically a body. And one thing you'll notice, we're hitting on that side, and we got a little space on this side, which means my body is actually over a touch. And it wasn't that critical until we put a motor in it that's this tight. Now the chassis, you can tell right here, the chassis is actually touching the body here on this side. And on this side, I have an inch. Now, am I gonna move that body over or just do a little bit of trimming on this side? That is the question. In order to shift that body over, I got those body mounts there, that one there, and this one here. So if I just wallow it out a ½ inch, push it that way a ½ inch, that will split it. So I'll probably do that. Another issue is going to be whether these aluminum panels that I built, I might have to remake these two, because even you can tell, and I should have noticed it, that one's a little bit smaller than that one. If the body's got to go that way, that's going to open up a gap there, and I can trim this one on this side. But that's really it. It wouldn't take much to correct this little problem. Yeah, I'll probably end up doing that. But anyways, this job just got bigger. So, thanks a lot for watching, guys. That's it for the day. Got that custom exhaust all built, and that's actually looking pretty cool. I don't know what's with this here. That one's in further than this one. I didn't build that, and I'm not going to rebuild it, because like I said, this is all just, that's a temporary exhaust. But thanks a lot for watching. Like and subscribe to the channel, and come along with me with this project. And Bobby will be getting on the fuel system and ignition here soon, and we'll actually hear this thing start up and run. So have a good day, everyone, and we'll see you on the next one.